Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, beautiful people. My name is Francine, and I'm here with my channel, The Hermetic Herald. I'm here for a channeled message and collective, rather a celebrity reading. I feel like I'm addressing the collective with the collective readings I do as well. So if you guys are interested in that, I feel like someone here would get a lot out of it if you're new to my channel. If you guys are new, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for trying out this channel. Maybe something caught your eye. I hope that you do get a lot of insight and information that you're looking for from this reading. I also want to share that with the people that are seeing me for the first time or checking out my content. I am clairaudient primarily. I also am an intuitive. So I will be reading what the cards, what the Rider-Waite description is, but I will be intuitive about my reading. So you will begin to get or see that I have messages coming through that are going to be specific to the people that I cater to or the people that I read for. I'm going to be tapping into the spirit team of the celebrity that I mentioned today, as well as their, this includes their ancestors, their archangels, guardian angels. I want to make sure I touch base with them out of respect and honor, just for the person that I'm touching base with, which is Kayla Nicole, and also with Travis Kelce. So in every reading, I want to make sure I honor the spirits that come in that are trying to assist in clarifying some information for us as the collective. I also want to respect them first and foremost. So I'm going to be touching base on whatever is needed for us to know. This is going to be information that helps us understand them in a greater way. This is going to be mostly coming from a higher perspective. So you'll notice that I'm going to look at the light and the dark attributes of both people. I'm going to be looking at the relationship, the dynamic that was, what their dynamic was prior to their breakup and their divorce. And then we're going to look at current energies. I'm going to be focusing primarily on what happened between the two of them, and also on just clarifying anything that might be misrepresented in the media right now. But I also want to just say to the people that are returning, thank you guys so much for all of your love and support. Thank you for how you are confirming a number of things that come up in these readings. You do not know how much I appreciate that, because I like hearing back on things. Like, just the feedback, the constructive criticism means so much to me. I feel like whenever it's productive, whenever it's touching base on whatever I talk about, I really appreciate that. So I want to let you guys know that you are heard, you are seen, and I really do appreciate all of the love. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's start out with what happened prior. Let's go back a bit. So we're going to go back about 5 years or so. It could be even further. It's just based on when things went south. I want to look at what happened prior to their breakup and divorce. So I want to look at the state of the relationship, 1. 2, what did Kayla Nicole bring to the relationship? What was her energy in the relationship? What was his energy, Travis Kelce? What was their potential together as partners? Looking at the broader spectrum of what was the purpose of their relationship? What was their potential in general? Free will affects everything, or at least affects a number of things in our life. So what went wrong between them? What lessons were they meant to learn, or did they learn? We'll look at both. And then what should they have paid close attention to? I feel like we're going to get a lot out of this reading. So let's start. I'm hearing dad. I feel like, interesting. I feel like Travis wants to be a dad. So let's keep going. Spirit team. Spirit team of myself and also of Travis Kelce and Kayla Nicole. Those of you that want to make yourselves known, please feel free to address whatever it is that you want to address in this reading here today. Okay, we're getting the Emperor. Okay, they want me to know that there's a father figure here. Okay, there's a father, because I was hearing father. I feel like there's a father that wants to make it themselves known. I feel like this is more so on Travis's side. Interesting. I'm hearing able-bodied. There's something here about the significance of being an able-bodied man in Travis's side. I'm hearing Kelce. So the Kelce family, their lineage is here. Okay. So we have the Emperor energy coming through. Very combative, because I see the 5 of Swords, the 4 of Swords, and the Death card. Wow. They're very strong people. Okay, I'm going into their lineage. Okay, so I'm going to timestamp this, but I need to tell you guys this before we go any further. What you need to know as the collective is that his family lineage is very much patriarchal, very much about men being at the forefront. And women having their place is what I'm hearing. I'm feeling with the Five of Swords a very confrontational energy. So they were very strong and warrior-like and very driven people, specifically the men. But I feel like they need to rest from that. I feel like their line is going through a huge transformation with regards to how they see confrontation, with how they see warriors. I don't know if he has a Viking influence or a Nordic background, but something about that's coming through. They're very strong people, but they need to come to a place of peace. I feel like they need to put their swords down. Very interesting dynamic. Okay, what else do I need to know? Ten of Wands. There was a lot of burdens on their shoulders. The reason why they need peace is because they've carried so many. I feel like his particular family carried his legacy, like the grandfathers, great-grandfathers, and great-great-great-grandfathers all had to go through some difficulties with regards to family. So he has some oppression in regards to family that's coming through. Like, it's a generational issue. King of Wands. Interesting. When I see the King of Wands and the High Priestess in reverse, that's telling me a king that's not intuitive or not focusing on their intuitive senses. They're going by their what they feel. So I feel like they're very passionate energies here in the room, passionate family members that want to speak. But I almost feel like I'm hearing like the curse or it's interesting, desert rose is coming through. You guys gotta slow down. I'm sorry. I have to tell them to slow down. Okay. Yeah, I really appreciate the passion here. But there's something about them not being as intuitive, not listening to their intuition, and being driven by force. So they're very forceful energies. And I almost feel like the King of Wands is telling me more so sexual. Interesting. Okay. Eight of Swords. They get really stuck in their head with regards to their sex drive, with regards to attraction. I feel like the men in the family have a very strong attraction to women. They feel very possessive and feel very like successful with certain women on their shoulders. Interesting. So they're giving me a dynamic of the Kelce family. They're saying that they need to abandon that. That's their karma, that they need to focus in on healing some generational curses or traumas. I don't like saying curses. This is more so just a trauma or a tendency in their lineage of losing and abandoning relationships because they want to feel successful, and what makes them feel successful is the Page of Cups. Flirtatious energy, advances, childlike energy, a very young spirit. But there's something about conflict erupting when they tap into their youth, their tendency to love and to love very openly. I feel like they tend to be very communicative and quick with communication, and also very frivolous, also very like sexual. I'm just getting the energy of a player. Weird. Because I wouldn't say weird, it's just interesting that I'm getting so many pages. And then I'm also getting the wands are very indicative of sex and about starting over a lot. The Fool energy here. So they want me to know that, and they want you guys to know that they're healing this. I almost feel this energy of embarrassment. Like they're trying to say, we want you guys to know about this. We're sorry that this is coming and ending up in Travis's life because of some generational stuff, but we want to move forward with the Death card. So they're trying to tell you with humility, like, look, this is what's going on, but it's changing. This isn't something that's going to go on forever. There's going to be peace. So there's going to be a reconsideration of these things. I feel like he has to be the one to give up with regards to the tendencies of the family and see the truth of a situation with the King of Swords. Wow. So let's get started. Thank you so much for telling us. Can I have a name, please? I'm hearing David Paul. Is there a David Paul? If someone that knows Travis Kelce or the family knows a David Paul. The two names are coming through. And I'm getting the same card again with the Four of Swords. So this is someone who's passed on. David Paul. And I'm also hearing deluge, D-E-L-U-G-E. So I don't know. Deluge is usually about, I think, delusional or something. It's about like having a state of mind where you're kind of off. I feel like their state of mind in the males in the family is coming up. The Emperor, wow. So let's keep going. They want us to know about that. That's very important as to why this relationship did not work. Okay. So what is the state of the relationship right now, Spirit, with Kayla, Nicole, and Travis Kelce? When I say right now, it's the moment in which they were considering divorce. This is right before the divorce. What was the state of the relationship like? Can you please clarify what that was like? Okay, so a lot of cards came through. Spirit, let's only get one, at least one for now. What is the state of the relationship right now? 8, 9. Now. So they said now I can just take the cards. Okay. What is the state of the relationship right now? What is Travis bringing to the relationship? What is Kayla? And then what is Travis? They want me to do it this way. Kayla, Travis. And then what was their potential together as partners? What lessons are they learning? Or what lessons did they learn, and what should they have paid closer attention to? Situation at hand, state of the relationship was the Four of Wands, or their marriage. So the state of their relationship was typical. They're trying to tell you it was what you would expect. We're going to clarify what that would be, because it seems as though it was almost like this happened almost, it's so weird, it almost happened out of nowhere. And it feels weird saying that, because what leads up to a divorce typically is more than just like, it doesn't usually come out of nowhere unless there's some cheating or something involved and the person's surprised or caught off guard. But Spirit's saying that at this moment in time, their energy was they were a team. They were married. They were together. They were at least in accordance or some form of harmony before this happened. Can you please clarify that for me? The World. So we have the World coming out in reverse though, which means that they were in a cycle repeatedly and there was no way of getting out of it. They felt stuck. So it feels like the marriage itself was kind of feeling more stagnant with the World in reverse. They weren't transitioning very far. We have the Nine of Pentacles. They were their own people in the relationship and they were happy with it. There was a sense of indifference, but also there was a sense of independence between the two of them in this relationship. So they were already emotionally kind of cold or distant towards each other. With the Four of Wands, you would think, oh, it's celebration, it's excitement. But what they're saying here is that this was a marriage. This was indicative of this is what they went through in their marriage. There was a sense of there being not much connection between the two of them, with the World in the reverse. Nine of Pentacles, independence, Four of Cups, which is usually about taking some time to rest. They were taking some time to rest in this situation. We also have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. She was not feeling in her power before they divorced. Queen of Pentacles is usually about feeling generous, feeling really abundant, and I feel like she was feeling not abundant, or she was feeling like abundance was evading her. She felt topsy-turvy. She felt uncomfortable. She wasn't feeling as grounded. The Queen of Pentacles is grounded energy, and we also have the Eight of Pentacles. Their work was suffering. I also feel this card, and it's the Four of Swords in reverse. So this is the Four of Pentacles, actually. So the card before that was actually about restriction. They were holding back from each other. They were independent. They had their own money coming in. They were not as connected towards the end. They were focused on their own thing, their own careers, their own path, and they were only like I'm hearing. They were only just living together. It was like their place of domicile was the same, but their hearts were not in it. Their hearts were already fading from this relationship and this situation. Four of Swords means that they were ready to move out. They were ready to move out of this Four of Wands. Wow. The emotions are interesting. It's like they were either running really high with the Shaman of Cups or the King of Cups energy, or they were running low, like they were just not feeling anything, and there was this big indifference between them. So let's look at what was Kayla bringing to the relationship. We have the Hermit. She was bringing, wow, a lot of wisdom. She was bringing a lot of insight from the dark. She was bringing a lot of clarity. So when you see the Hermit, that's Virgo energy. That's someone who is very like ordered. I feel like, I don't know if she's an earth sign, but she's getting 2 earth signs already. Very stable, practical about the relationship. She was bringing insight, and she was like, you know what, I've thought about this long and hard, and I feel like there's something coming in that we need to be aware of. We're not the same people. We're very indifferent. We're very disconnected. We're feeling very uncomfortable. I'm feeling uncomfortable because I don't feel as stable anymore. I don't feel like my work, I don't feel like the things that I put into this relationship with the 8 of Pentacles in reverse are being honored. Usually the 8 of Pentacles in reverse is saying that you're stagnant, you're not working on anything, or what you're working on is not working for you, or it's not successful. So she wasn't feeling good about the situation. She was trying to look at things from a spiritual perspective. The Hermit's very spiritual, very wise. What was Travis bringing to the relationship? We have the Lovers. Wow, 2 major arcana. These 2 were in very big revelations with this relationship. The Lovers tells me that he was bringing a lot of the connection of wanting to connect and to bring some love or romance into the relationship. He was trying to revive this. He was trying to bridge the gap between them. He was trying to assuage her with like really tender words, romantic affections, trying to push through boundaries or trying to push past some wall. There was some gap between them. They were not bridging the gap well. He was emotionally trying to romance her, woo her, trying to get her to feel the things that they used to feel. But I'm feeling with the Hermit, that's usually, it can be a cold energy, considering this Hermit's looking away. If you're noticing, they're looking inward. They're not looking at anyone else. He was kind of willing to look at her, but I don't feel like she was open to that, because there was some insight that she received that she felt very strongly about. Let's look at what are they bringing to the relationship, or what did they at this point in time right before their divorce. Oh, okay. 3 of Swords is a classic heartbreak. So what they brought, what their potential together as partners was healing or addressing the pain. There was a lot of disappointment between these 2. Let me just move this a little bit so you guys can see it a bit better. There was a need for healing in this relationship, big time. So as for their potential, it was disappointment. Let's look into why the 3 of Swords is here. Can we clarify why the 3 of Swords energy is here? Why is the 3 of Swords energy here, Spirit? Wow, so we had one card flip over in the deck, and it's the 4 of Cups. That's usually about detachment. They were feeling really off. They were feeling like there wasn't enough emotion in the relationship. They were feeling kind of dejected, and they were feeling really, I'm hearing dry. And when I don't want to be TMI, but I'm feeling like she wasn't turned on or interested in him anymore, and that was something that also was coming in for the relationship. It was like a lack of interest. Because her emotions are very closely tied to her mind. If you can't, the sapiosexual, or the sense of being very turned on by the mental space, as well as the physical. It's like she's very intrigued by intelligence. And I feel like she just didn't feel anything, and therefore she couldn't pretend. 4 of Cups for both of them, and the Death card, guys. Skeletons. So there's some skeleton in the closet. This skeleton in particular is surrounded by a snake. And I'm tempted to think about the snake that came between these 2. So there's something that came between them. Okay. Wow. Okay, so we have the 9 of Cups. We have the Judgment card. 9 of Swords in reverse. And the Ace of Wands. Wow. I'm just going to ask the question, was there any cheating involved, Spirit, on either end? Just let's get to the nitty gritty. Was there any cheating on either of their end, on Travis Kelce's or Kelce's side as well as Kayla's? Was there any cheating involved in this relationship? Okay, we have the Lovers. There definitely was. There was someone that bridged or came between the 2 of them. And you want to know why I'm saying that? When I saw the Death card and I saw the snake, I thought of temptation. When I saw the 9 of Cups, that's about, you see how there's like a number of people at this pool? Nine of Cups is about generosity. It's about being very happy and emotionally fulfilled. There's something emotionally fulfilling on one of their sides. I'm feeling more on Travis's side with the Lovers energy and the Lovers coming through. They're telling me Travis. There's something in regards to Travis regarding the cheating, because Lovers energy can be really good. It can be beautiful in the soulmate type relationship, but it can be really bad because it can also indicate sex, an intrigue or attraction to a lot of people all at once. It can be a lot of like lover type energy, interest in being with someone else, being intimate with someone. If you're not getting it with one person, it can be like a sense of wanting it in some capacity. It's coming through. And I feel like there is a Nine of Cups energy and judgment. Making a judgment call about where both parties find emotional fulfillment. Where do they find emotional fulfillment? Is it with someone? Like being in bed with someone and having that sense of like adoration and admiration, regardless of who it is? Or is it about like your mind, your intelligence, your wisdom? I feel like on Kayla's end, she was very attracted to, I don't know how to say this. I'm just hearing it, monogamy. I feel like she's more monogamous, and I feel like she was more so interested in the mind of Travis or something about him. His personality really was what struck her attention and affection, and also his attractiveness came into play, but it feels like lesser than. It feels secondary to how she felt about him mentally. And I feel like something about their emotional fulfillment was addressed, and about how they expressed their love. And we have the Nine of Swords. There was a lot of worry, a torment. You see how like coiled up that person is? When it's upright, this person is just like terrified. I don't know. They're just going through so many nightmares with regards to speaking their truth on what they want in a relationship. And I see the Ace of Wands as inspiration, but I also see it as sexual interest, because the Ace of Wands is starting something, okay? And the Fool, yeah, like there's this foolish energy coming through, this like need for freedom, this need for inspiration, this need for emotional satisfaction, and it feels like it's coming from Travis. Can you please clarify to me, was Kayla the one that cheated on Travis? Can I have one card? Was Kayla Nicole the one that cheated on Travis? Look at what we're getting, guys. That's the Hermit. The Hermit for Kayla, the Lovers for Travis. Was Travis the one that cheated on Kayla? And we got one card. Let's look at it. The Sun. Oh my God. Okay, so bottom of the deck is the Ace of Pentacles, the Three of Swords in reverse, and the Seven of Cups. Yeah. This is Travis. He's the one. The Hermit tells me isolation. That tells me no. For Travis, it is the Sun. It's yes. So he's the one that definitely stepped out of the relationship. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. So if that's news to you, it's news to me. Great. Now we can move on, because I feel like it's not great, but it's just like it was really hard to not talk about that. Something about him and his interests and attractions came through here. All right. Ace of Pentacles is about relationships, opportunities. Three of Swords in reverse tells me that relationships are something he has a really hard time with. Seven of Cups is a classic thirst trap card. It's about having so many options. He likes having options. And I think it works out for him with Taylor in that regard, because I feel like they're both open energies and more fun. For some reason, I'm just getting the Hermit for her, more so like a closed energy, or more so like an insightful energy, a wise energy, but it's not a very sensual energy. And she may have that, but they're trying to make you understand what was going on between them. He was the more loving or more sexually charged between the two. Okay. What were they learning through this relationship, Spirit? Indecision. I'm also feeling the card on the top, which was the Five of Swords. So they were just feeling a lot of conflict mentally. They were bickering and fighting over what they wanted to do. I feel like there wasn't clear communication on what they expected going forward. I feel almost like they never really truly said, hey, no one else in between us. I almost feel like they were trying to be free on Kayla's end. I feel like she was trying to be more open and free with him, but I feel like she needed to come into balance and recognition of what she truly wanted. There was some indecision in this relationship, and that's what they needed to learn. They needed to have strong boundaries. They need to say, like, it's not like it's her fault at all. What I'm saying for sure, I just want someone here to know, because I feel like someone here is already trying to, like, typing away. But there's no need, because no one deserves to be cheated on, okay? I feel like cheating is not something that you have to do. You could totally communicate that. I feel like Kayla just was, I think she let this go on for a bit longer, and so did he. The indecision really messed things up, okay? They should have been more communicative instead of being in their heads. Yeah, so we have the Knight of Wands, which tells me, like, the energy of someone who's driven, but they ran into this relationship fairly quickly. It was fated for them to be in this relationship, but I almost feel like they took a turn into getting married really quickly. And for some reason that's coming through. They needed more time before they decided to do that. And I feel like they weren't completely sold on the idea, but they did it anyway. So what should they have paid closer attention to? It was the Six of Cups. Recognizing the relationship as something that was also a soulmate relationship. I'm getting the Knight of Wands. They have this attraction to each other. In the beginning, attraction was heavy. I feel like it was heavy on his end. He was coming in, running in, but I feel like she was very interested in him. I feel like she also stood her ground, though, in the beginning with the Seven of Wands. She was very, like, defensive, and also had her, like, her defenses up in some way, but she looked at him from afar. And I feel like these two had two different ways, parallel ways of addressing each other. He was more interested in, like, getting to know her right away. He was very attracted to her physically, but I feel like she had to put the brakes on them. And I feel like there's this playful energy between these two. I feel like they would have been better as work partners or friends, because I feel like they have an attraction to each other that can transcend into, like, success in business endeavors and working on other things. But I feel like they're still soulmates in the sense that their souls are very much connected. Some people don't recognize, and I feel like I need to say this again, soulmates do not have to be people that I don't believe personally that there's only one soulmate, okay? I do not believe that, because I feel like you can have very close friends that are soulmates. You can have pets that are soulmates. Sometimes we give the rhetoric too much power. There's so much more than soulmates out there, guys. The thing with soulmates is that there's complementary soulmates, like the ones that meet you at the right time, and those are the people you end up having a future with and doing stuff long term with. There's some that are karmic soulmates, and I feel like they're karmic because I feel like the passion that he had for her was something that needed to be addressed generationally. Like, there's some ancestral energy surrounding, like, his attraction, and also with, like, how he pursues women. And I feel like she had the strength and I'm hearing audacity to say, like, no, I'm putting my foot down and I'm going to be in my masculine energy. And I feel like he was almost caught off guard by that. So they're karmics. What I mean by that is basically they taught each other very valuable lessons, and that was what they were meant to do. Not every relationship is meant to be long-term. Okay, so getting off my soapbox, and I'm going to continue. So let's get into the healing messages for each of them. Let's get into actually their archetypes. What was Kayla's light attributes in the relationship, Spirit? I'm hearing enigma. Interesting. I feel like he found her as an enigma. Very interesting energy. I'm feeling this one for Kayla. We'll see what it is in a second, okay? I'm hearing programmer. I don't know if someone was interested in programming at some point. What was Kayla Nicole like in the relationship, light attributes? What were the karmic attributes of Kayla Nicole? Karmic in the sense of shadow, like negative or a little bit more negative. What were her mechanisms of coping in the relationship? What were her shadow attributes? What shadow attributes would you like to highlight, Spirit? Oh, wow. Okay, we have 2. Let's go into, I think there's one more. Yeah, one more wanted to come out. So let's look at Travis. What are his light attributes? Okay. What are his light attributes in this relationship? Thank you so much, Spirit Team, for being present with us. Okay, we had 3 for him. And what are his karmic or shadow attributes that we need to be aware of? What are his karmic attributes that we need to be aware of? Okay, so we have 3 for him, 3 for both. Okay, let's move on, okay? Move some stuff out of the way. So for her, let's go through all of them. We have poet, expresses soul insights in symbolic language. Sometimes my camera has a weird way of like not focusing or focusing and then going back away, so please don't mind that. We have detective, great passions or great powers of observation and intuition, desire to seek out the truth. So we have her as the poet and the detective. You know what that tells me? She's very beautiful with her words. She's very good with getting into the depths of her thought life and her soul. I feel like she would be really good at poetry. I feel like she might have even written poetry on her wedding day for him when you know, you toast and you say like, to my love or something like that, and you're saying that or writing it out. I feel like she might have done that, or she did that like just in little letters to him. That's coming through. She's very poetic with her words, very symbolic, very deep. She's a very deep soul. I'm sure he is too, but I think he takes some time. It takes time to see this aspect of him. I feel like he's usually a very charismatic person from what I got in his readings prior. If you guys want to check them out, feel free. And also, guys, if you like this video so far, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Doing so will help people see this message. I feel like some people look at the number of subscribers and likes and they think, oh, they don't have anything to say. And it's like, it's kind of like looking at your favorite tarot readers right now that are like at like hundreds of thousands of subscribers and seeing them on day 1 and saying, they're no good. They were good then. But I just feel like that energy, like sometimes that comes in and I try to like push it back and say, no, you're doing a good thing. So I'm excited for this message and let's keep it going. Detective is also what she has. She's good at looking at the truth of a situation. So she's very good at cutting through the bullshit. What's interesting is that Drake got this message, or at least got the detective card. She's very good at seeing bullshit from a mile away. I feel like she was like very aware of his tendencies changing with regards to sex. I feel like he was all into her. And whenever I think she used to turn him down quite a bit because she wasn't feeling him emotionally and mentally. And I feel like she started to see that his sex drive was changing or shifting, or that he was more satisfied in some way, and she was like, wait, hold up, what are you doing? Where are you going? And I feel like that's coming through. She was very aware of his change in his attitude and the change in the way he acted. I almost feel like he acted more positive and was more upbeat, and she's like, what's going on? And it's not like she was looking for negativity in him. It was more so that she could see the signs that something was going on. Poet is also here, so I feel like she was also able to communicate a lot of things that were going on at that time, and I feel like she was like, he's not talking the same way, or he's thinking or acting differently. I noticed this about him. Those 2 are coming out. I'm also hearing laureate, so I feel like she does poems or does poetry. I feel like she should really continue to do that because I feel like she'd be really good at it. Moving on, we have for Travis's light attributes, child eternal, determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. I believe he got this in the other reading. He's a kid at heart. He's a very childlike energy. He's very in touch with his childlike energy. He likes to have fun. He also is a shapeshifter, skill at navigating different levels of consciousness and ability to see the potential in everything. He saw the potential between them. He saw something in her that he never saw, or that he was very intrigued by, and I feel like that changed him. She changed him for the better. There's something about him opening up his life through opening up to this relationship, like opening up his eyes to something completely new. I feel like his eyes were shut and he had an understanding of reality in one way, and I feel like he saw things in multicolor when he opened his eyes. There's something about him shifting into different levels of consciousness, experiences of the human spirit. I feel like he experienced things with her that he wouldn't have experienced outside of her. He would have experienced it differently, that's for sure. I feel like also Spirit's telling us that he has the addict attribute, but it's the light attribute, which helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. I feel like he got real with her and told her about his interests, or that he was looking elsewhere, and I feel like he tried to recognize the signs earlier on before she told him. I feel like she was watching. And she was waiting for him to say something, because I feel like they were separated emotionally, and I feel like she wasn't sleeping with him anyway. I don't want to be TMI, but I feel like she was like already separated from him emotionally, and she was just like, yeah, when are you going to tell me? I'm just going to figure it out, find out what's going on behind the scenes, and I'm going to see if you're going to tell me. And I feel like he recognized what happened and said, I might have some issue, or I might have some tendencies that I want to talk to you about. That's coming through. I don't know how long it took for him to get to that place, though. With the shadow attributes, we have acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. With her, she seems like she tends to act like she's an angel, or that she's like a messiah in the relationship between them. She would act like she's the one with the angel on her shoulder that she listens to, and he's the one with the devil on his shoulder. So there's that negative, that like energy coming through. Keep in mind, everyone has light and dark attributes. So when someone hears me saying that, I hope they're not seeing that she's like this terrible person. It's not like that. It's really just about the things that she did to protect herself. If you look at the angel archetype, I'm not saying this is inherently good to act innocent or angelic to mislead people, but I feel like she's almost holding herself, and a way to hold herself in, or to continue to operate in integrity, or in order to have the confidence to get out of this relationship and not feel like she's the problem, she may have tried to act like angelic about it. Like, at least I'm the one that didn't cheat. You're the one that cheated. And I feel like she might have done that to make herself seem better or feel better about herself, because she felt like there was something wrong with her in some way. There was nothing wrong with either of these people. It was communication that was the problem. He did something that he shouldn't have, I agree, but I feel like he also needs to communicate about what he wanted before he did it. That's coming through. Indecision was what broke this relationship. Not communicating, not being sure of where their boundaries were. They needed to communicate that. She had the slave archetype in the shadow, giving her willpower to an external force or authority out of fear of making her own choices. When she became a wife, she kind of became, I feel like something stagnant came in the marriage, because we had that stagnancy come in earlier. I feel like she felt like a housewife. She felt like a slave to him. And that's really sucky to say, beyond the obvious. I feel like people have these perceptions of interracial relationships, and I feel like that needs to be said here. Just because someone's with someone of another race does not make them a slave to that person, the person of color to that other Caucasian counterpart, or whatever counterpart, Asian, whatever you want to call it. I feel like, unfortunately, there was some really deep generational stuff that came up, because she was not willing to be someone that would bend over backwards for him. I feel like this archetype came in, and she could feel when she was like bending at his will, or doing things the way he wanted them to be done. And I feel like she really hated that aspect of herself, of that she let him think he could control the home in some way, or like make her feel like she was at his will or his whim. Something like that's coming through. We also have obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructive devotion. So she had, interesting, okay. I feel like she was either hot or cold, and when she was really hot, there was so much passion in her that I feel like when she would show it to him, he would want more of it. But when she was not ready to do it, she would shut the door on it. So I feel like this energy of like them having a lot of attraction to each other in the beginning and throughout the relationship, up until it was before the relationship soured, there was a lot of love between them, but I feel like she might have used it. And she might have been maybe more into sex, and that was what he loved about her in the beginning. Like, she was really attracted and interested in him, and their sex life was A1. But then other things came in between them. Sometimes it can be destructive when it's not tempered, or like you're not in control of your sexual energy. You want to always maintain control of yourself in all aspects, and that means taking ownership of your sexuality. I feel like that's what's coming through for her. She didn't take ownership of it, and she was very destructive with it. For him, we have pioneer, compulsive need to keep moving on. What is that? Compulsive need to keep moving on. He's a pioneer. It's like I'm getting like conquistador energy, or like someone who is conquering things. He just has this thing where he likes to conquer things, and that's coming through. We also have dilettante, pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. He was not quite as, I don't want to say it like that. He has a lot of information that he knows, but I feel like he sometimes acted like he understood it on a deeper level, but she understood it deeper. I'm just going to be real. I feel like he's very smart, very charismatic, but I feel like he sometimes would act as if he had such a deeper meaning behind why he did what he did, but it wasn't that deep. He just wanted to get, oh wow, I don't want to say that. You guys can figure out what I'm trying to say there, but I feel like he sometimes would try to explain things in a deeper way, and it's like, it's not that deep, bro. It's really just you want to be with someone and you want to have sex, and that's that. It doesn't have to be that deep. We have alchemist, misuse of the power and knowledge that comes through spiritual practice. I feel like he was misusing some spiritual energy. I don't know if he's in connection with his ancestors and guides, but that's coming through. Like he had knowledge about deeper things, like spiritual things, and I feel like he messed with it, where he kind of had a warped view of spirituality, where he warped it to fit what he wanted, his narrative. Interesting. So they both had their set of shadow attributes. So both of them came to this with some negative traits to address. But what was the healing message for Kayla's spirit? What is Kayla's spirit team saying? Honor your energy. Kayla is healing, or needed to heal by honoring her energy more. Getting out of this Two of Swords and not having enough clarity to set boundaries right away, and falling into some mentality, old school mentality, that she needs to be this housewife that doesn't say anything, that stays quiet, something like that. We have struggle, feeling like she's gone through some struggles in her life of thinking that this relationship would save some aspect of her experience and like maybe change the trajectory of her lineage. Something about marriage is coming through, and why they got married is important. Healing energy and unlimited possibilities. She needs to see the possibilities. They're both better for moving out of this relationship. They're better for it. What is Travis healing? What did he heal through this relationship? New beginnings, seeing the new. I feel like he's a very young energy, very upbeat. I feel like he needs someone that's also in an energy of that. I feel like sometimes it's good to have someone complimentary, though, that also evens you out and gives you a lot of advice. And I feel like she was a sage to him. I feel like she gave him a lot of wisdom, and also she got a lot of fun because he was a fun energy. Very, very young at heart. Beautiful. Ascension is here. He was ascending at the time that they had been together, and when they broke up. He's grown a lot, guys. Death. He's transformed a whole lot since they were together. I'm definitely going to say that. He's a sharpshooter is what I'm hearing. I'm also seeing emotional release, allowing himself to emote and cry and retreat. He went away to retreat, to focus on his inner healing, and that's what they want us to know. So that is what I have for you guys today. I hope this helps paint a better picture of them. I feel intuitively like I need to stop it there, but if you guys have any questions, concerns, anything you'd like to recommend, let me know in the comments below. But I'll see you soon, and you take care. Bye. Just kidding. So I'm going to be back. I wanted to just take a sip of water because I was starting to like freak out at how my throat chakra was closing up. But I feel like they're still wanting to share more messages. So Travis aside, very sweet, very honoring of their energy, but they're also really open. So I want to talk while I can with them and continue to do these messages. So we did their past, right? We did all the energies of the past, what was going on, their attributes, and their healing, right? What they needed to heal after this issue or after the divorce. Now we're going to go into, and I feel this card strongly, I feel like I need to go into the mom. Let's go into the mom a bit. Let's talk about a couple of things. Let's look at her external vibe towards Kayla, internal vibe towards Kayla. For some reason, they want me to do just Taylor, and then external and internal vibe towards Taylor Swift, as well as another third card that I think is going to be the bottom line between her. And I feel like there's 2 cards there. Bottom of the deck is the Wheel of Fortune, the 5 of Wands, and the 10 of Swords. I don't know why, but I'm getting the sense that her mom, not her, Travis's mom, is an opportunist. It doesn't have to mean a negative thing. It more so means that there's a lot of success that has come through her line as well with regards to opportunities coming across her path. Like everything lined up for her lineage. 5 of Wands is about fighting or putting in a lot of effort to address something with a group of people. I feel like with the 5 of Wands, this is about like having or laying foundations. She has very foundational ancestors, or very I'm hearing hardworking ancestors that come back and forth. I'm hearing and feeling them, so I'm trying to like tell you what I'm hearing as I can before I lose it. 10 of Swords is about a lot of difficulties, though. Getting through a number of difficulties and reaching the end, reaching the final breaking point. I feel like they work themselves real hard. There's something about, like, when someone has talent in the family, they don't just let that talent simmer or like just let that talent go. They like to hone in on it and work hard at it. But the only thing I could see as an oppressive energy in this reading, or in this energy here, is that they might work too hard. There's this energy of letting things end painfully. Something about that is coming through. And I'm also feeling like backstabbers are very common in their lineage. Like they've had people that were very foundational with them, like founding, I'm getting founding father type energy, where like they worked together with a number of people, but those people, when they got what they wanted from the family, the Kelce family, they would then turn and throw or thrust their swords in their back and cause them pain. So there's something about them having a lot of merit to their name, but not being recognized for it because of someone's oppression or someone else's oppressive hand. Interesting. I feel like someone in the family is talking to me about it. And they said it's because I can detect that there's been some issues with regards to like people taking credit for stuff that they've done in their family. So if someone in the family sees this message, genealogy, like genealogically, there's something about them having this tendency of having really powerful people in their family and yet not getting all of the credit. And now I feel like there's karma at play, and that's why her sons are actually walking in that success. It's because now they're meant to have it. I don't know why. That's really important for you guys to know. Let's look at the mom in general. She's the King of Swords. She's very straightforward. Okay, the King of Swords is not very emotional, more so like very like mentally driven. I don't know if she's a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Air sign energy is coming through, but she is very quick with her words, very cutting if she needs to be, very quick with saying like something and not going any further if she doesn't have to. Interesting. King of Swords, honest. She's pretty honest. It's coming through as she's very honest about how she feels about someone. Okay, and now we have the external vibe. What was her external vibe towards Kayla? Ooh, okay. So on the outside, she saw Kayla as someone that you couldn't trust, someone that was sneaky, someone that, wow, she just did not trust her. She did not really like her externally. We're going to see how she truly felt. But on the outside, when she was like asked about her, she would either evade you by not talking about her, being very quick to get out of a situation where people would ask her about her, like as her daughter-in-law. But I'm feeling this energy that she saw her, or at least perpetrated or made it seem as though she was a sneaky energy or someone who wasn't true. And here's the thing, what's interesting is that the King of Swords is her energy, right? And the Son of Swords is like almost the opposite energy. It's someone who's like not trustworthy. Interesting. What was her internal vibe towards her? The 3 of Wands, though. I think she saw her as a progressive energy, someone that could see the future a mile away or miles away. She really was open towards her, because when I look at the Four of Wands, I think about how there's like this vast expanse of land and this person's overseeing it. I feel like she was very visual, like watching her a lot, trying to see what would happen between the two of them, but she was open. I feel like she tried to protect herself in the media. She tried to avoid talking about her, tried to avoid telling anything. She was almost acting uncharacteristically of herself. Like she was trying to be more secretive about her. But inside, she actually felt like approaching her. She felt like she was someone she can look at from afar. I don't know how close she was. I don't feel like close energy with this person. I feel more like they're looking to the future. And that can mean that they're looking past her or they're looking at her. What is this card? We have a Chariot. She was moving away from her though. Emperor. Okay. Yeah, she left her out in the dark with regards to love. She didn't show her the love that she wanted, that she really wanted from her. 10 of Wands, guys, 6 of Swords, and Death. She was waiting for this relationship to be over. I'm just going to be real with you. She did not see her son being with her long term. And she was just holding out until that player or that energy could come out. She knows her son very well, as we would obviously know, or at least any supportive mother would be. I feel like she knew this wasn't going to last. And she was just waiting for it to end. Let's see what she feels towards Taylor. We got the King of Cups energy coming through though. So I don't know what's shifted in her energy, but she's now in her current energy, okay? This is current energies. She feels the King of Cups. She's more like open to love now. With her external vibe towards Taylor, we have the King of Wands. Interesting. So she's feeling more directive or more controlling of Taylor in some way. King of Wands tells me she sees Taylor as a King of Wands. So that tells me she sees her as an authoritative energy, a very strong energy, a dynamic energy. She doesn't want to play with her, because King of Wands energy tells me she sees her almost as an equal. These are kings here. What is her internal vibe? 8 of Swords. She doesn't know how to feel about her. She feels stuck in her head about her, confused about her. She feels stuck, which is interesting, right? She felt so in control with regards to Kayla, and now she feels stuck. She feels unsure about her. Can I have clarity on the 8 of Swords? Wow. So she's gone through a lot of healing, okay? Because we have the Queen of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, Page of Wands, 2 of Cups, the Star, the 9 of Cups, and the 4 of Cups and the 5 of Cups. Whoa. Wow. So she's changed in the time that she was with Kayla, because what I'm seeing here is that with the Queen of let me just show you guys, the Queen of Pentacles and 10 of Pentacles, she's coming into more of a matriarchal energy with regards to her. She's being with regards to Taylor, she's being very protective. She's looking at her legacy, focusing on her children. And she has the Page of Wands coming through, which I feel like is Travis's energy. She sees the potential, she sees the relationship and the connection coming through. And I feel like she has some like, I'm not sure why I'm getting the word regrets, but I'm feeling like she has some things and aspects of her healing that are coming up with regards to her happiness. Like, is she happy when he is happy? Is she happy when things look differently than what she expected? I feel like she's coming to a place of serenity or a place of emotional fulfillment, because I feel like no one really is good enough for her son. I feel like she feels this sense of like, yeah, she's okay. And I heard that, I actually saw that one interview, and it was really like random on my Twitter feed. And I feel like she is just kind of like looking at her cup and kind of just thinking like, yeah, it's all right. But I almost feel like she doesn't feel like he's quite felt or met the person she would be happy with Travis settling down with. I feel like she just doesn't find anyone or most people enough for him. I feel like that's coming through. I'm also getting the Fool in reverse. So I feel like she sees either Travis as the Fool in reverse, meaning that he tends to like be very flighty. I'm getting the Devil and the Nine of Pentacles. He always desires company from other people. So she feels like this might just be a short-term thing that won't last very long. That's coming through. Again, I'm not really focusing on Taylor's end, just on her primarily. So I'm focusing on the Kelce family here. So I can do that. I feel like pretty good about it. I don't feel weird energies or vibes coming through like when someone's uncomfortable. So that's a good thing. All right. So yeah, that's what she feels. Stark contrast from what we got for Kayla. Okay. So let's get into some other questions here. So currently, how does Travis feel towards Kayla externally right this very moment? This is like in reflection. You know, there's been how many years? 5 years or more between them? What does Travis feel externally, Spirit Team? Okay, that's coming through. What does Travis feel internally towards Kayla? Internally. Whoa. A lot of things. So I'm going to need to take everything back. It was like 7 cards. And let's get just one. Spirit guides, angels, ancestors. Please help me. Okay, we have one. Came out sideways though. What does Kayla feel externally towards Travis Kelce right now? If we don't already know. I personally don't really know. So let's look at these two. And what does she feel internally? Okay, we have one. Bottom of the deck is the Sun, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands. They're looking to the horizons. They're both pretty happy where they're at, guys. They feel like they want to focus on their opportunities coming in for them. And I feel like, especially with Kayla, I'm getting the energy that she's really tapping into her inner child, her healing. She's focusing on her future, and he's focusing on his future, and they're bright. So what is his external vibe towards Kayla? Externally, he feels temperance. He feels that, like, I'm hearing even. I'm feeling like he feels in control of his emotions, which makes him feel really good about himself. He feels like, okay, I addressed the feelings we had in the past. I addressed how I felt, even if I didn't talk to her. And I'm talking as if I'm Travis. He's feeling like things happen the way they were meant to happen. He's at peace, and he's also in balance with regards to his emotions. He's not taking anything really that personally. He's trying to always focus on balancing out his emotions and also his practicality. And I feel like he's at peace. Externally, he wants people to see that he is at peace with regards to Kayla, and he means well on both ends, like for himself and for her. What does he truly feel though? We have the Three of Pentacles on its side, which tells me that he feels like consistently, internally, he's been feeling like she's just a good friend or a companion. He feels like he's a friend. He feels like she is a friend to him, someone that he trusts or someone that he respects. Three of Pentacles energy is someone you would team up with and build with. So he feels like she's a friend consistently. But I also feel like the energy of, you know, when something flatlines, like it's just kind of boring and tepid. It's like, you know, when you break up with someone and you still think like you still care for them in some degree. This is in the best terms. But when you feel like you guys are still friends and you guys still feel like you care about each other to some extent, that's what's coming through. It's just like a consistent care. Okay, he would care about her if something happened. Something negative. So what does, let's look at, let's look at Kayla. What does she feel externally towards him? She externally feels like he's the Page of Swords, or feels the Page of Swords energy and the Queen of Cups. Okay. What I'm getting with these two is that externally she talks very little to him, and when she does talk to him or think of him, she sees him as someone to talk to immature or prematurely with. What I mean by that is she sees herself as a Queen of Cups. I feel like Queen of Cups is exemplifying her. And I feel like she sees the relationship as very immature or very like surface level. Externally, she feels very surface level. She says very little. And she feels very strongly about what she says. That's what's coming through. In regards to Travis, she just feels like she says her piece and it's not a lot. And then there's this sense of sitting on her throne and being more emotionally centered and more emotionally in alignment. So that's coming through for her. Her feelings towards him, she probably does have feelings and care for him, but it's more so like she's not willing to delve into them. She's willing to just say what she needs to say from the heart, but she's not wasting time. It feels like a very quick communication. What does she feel internally towards him, the world? She feels like he's moved on and that she's moved on, because the world is usually about transitioning into a new cycle. But what's interesting is that these 4 are fixed signs surrounding that. So I almost feel like everything it's reached its end, it's reached its peak. It's like their relationship and what happened in the past is the past. The world means that she's moved on internally. Wow. So she's moved on internally. He's more so like, I see her as a friend. Okay, so Spirit team, ancestors of Travis, Kels, thank you so much for being here today. Is there any messages that you have as far as advice? What's some advice that you'd like to give? Wow. Okay, so we have get into nature coming through, coexistence, gather, limit, waste. They want him to be more in touch with with nature surrounding him. They really feel like that would be very helpful for him in communicating. So if he ever sees this message, he's meant to communicate with animals as well, to get into nature. I feel like there's something about getting right with animals. I'm also getting the sense, and I'm just going to say it, like there being some past lives or some experiences with hunting, and I feel like there needs to be some there's some karma in regards to hunting. I don't know if he tried to hunt in the past and something happened, like an injury, or like there was I don't know, there's something coming through about injury and like hunting in the past. Either him or a family member is coming through and talking about abusing animals or having like that perception or not wanting to do that anymore. Something like that. And people can see hunting as they see fit. I'm just getting an energy, and that's that. Family connections, respect people, and kinship. So there's some kinship. Yeah, there's some family connections that really want to make themselves known to him. With Kayla, I'm not feeling them as strongly, but they are here. Kayla's ancestors, what messages do you have? I'm seeing interact and relate. There is something about her interacting or needing to interact and relate with them, to see the traditions and to take pride in the traditions, honoring the traditions that surround her. I also am getting move your body. She needs to dance more, spend more time moving her body. There's something about restriction. I feel like she's felt this devil energy in the past with regards to him. Felt like she was closed off, like she couldn't really open up. And I'm hearing Deja or deja vu. Maybe someone's name is Deja in her family. But I'm seeing connect with past loved ones as I said that. So I feel like Deja, someone's Deja. And I feel like she may have a relationship with this person or think about them and try to connect with them. She needs to balance herself is what's coming through as well. She needs to spend more time focusing on the beauty of the life stages. Like seeing, I feel like she's done the healing with regards to Travis, because I feel like with the World card, that tells me she's transitioned already. Awaken your inner shaman. There's something about her being really good at shamanism and tapping into that, connecting to her ancestors, healing a number of things. And I feel like she'd be really good at like drums, but also rattles. That helps awaken. Shamans use that very often. I'm also getting take time out. She needs to take time out away from all of this and to rest. I'm feeling like her spirit guides are saying that more than anything, but her ancestors are here. Deja is here. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say about the situation, Spirit, between Travis and Kayla by the book? I feel like it was meant to happen the way that it happened, which is what I was saying about the Viking ancestor or about the Nordic roots, or something about the roots of Travis's side. No place like home, going back to his roots, or going back to the reason why this relationship didn't work with regards to patriarchy, with regards to the established rules or mentalities of marriage. I feel like he needed to experience the karma associated with that to heal it. Something about that's coming through. Divine timing at work with the number 11. Number 5 is about huge transformation. I feel like he's definitely become more of a thinker in the sense of his tendencies with love. He had to reach an agreement with her and make the decision to mend aspects of himself that he couldn't bring into another relationship. He had to heal something. He had to be fair, honest with himself. And I also feel like he did therapy in some way or shape or form. Like he had the community help him because he felt like his karmic relationship or his soul tie with Kayla was really teaching him something. I'm hearing lukewarm. You know the term lukewarm? If you're lukewarm, I'll spit you out of my mouth. I feel almost like he felt like he needed to address some energies here. Lukewarm, I'm not sure if this was like lukewarm energies with regards to how he feels towards someone long term, but I feel like he's an imaginative energy. I feel like he needs to learn, he's learning more about, I'm hearing the art of settling down. I feel like he's a very action-oriented person. Whatever happens will be on his timeline. No one's going to force him, or even if it happens, who knows if it's even going to happen for him having something long term. But the question of what he wants was always there. Like, what does he want? Both of them were not very sure of what lines and boundaries to have. And I feel like now he's opened up a lot more in healing that in the past 5 years or so. We have regeneration. He's a new person in some ways and respects. He needed to clean things up and to see the chaos and the conflict. It was meant to happen. They're karmic soulmates, I feel like. All right, but that is what I have for you guys today. I hope this helps give you more insight into the situation at hand. Please like, share, and subscribe for this energy exchange. Just to see more of my content as well, if you'd like notifications on when I post. I will be doing a lot of more exciting videos ahead, so feel free to tune in. I likely will not do much on Taylor Swift, as I mentioned in prior videos, just out of respect for her ancestors. They need some time, okay? But until next time, I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.